and welcome to my podcast. This is the first episode, and I just created this podcast, the Neon Podcast, because I do feel and I do think that as musicians, we need to talk about a lot of things that have nothing to do with music. And the name of this episode is, do I really need to go to music school to be a musician? And the answer to that, of course, is no. And there are three things that I want to talk about with you today. First point that I really need to talk about is if you were rejected from a conservatory or from music school. Maybe you prepared your audition, maybe you felt it was amazing, but at the end of the day you were rejected. Don't get discouraged by that. It happens. As musicians, we need to audition and audition and audition over and over again in order to get an opportunity. And if you were rejected from your favorite music school, Berkeley or whatever, don't get discouraged. That doesn't mean you're not good, or that doesn't mean your future is over, or that doesn't mean your dreams are over. Maybe if you really want to be there like so bad, okay, it means you need to practice a little bit harder. But if it's not like your huge dream to be there, to be a student in that school, you can just try another one. Or you can study on your own. You can hire a private teacher, you can study music through the internet, or you can study music with your friends, with your bandmates during rehearsals. What I really want to clarify here is you do not need a paper or a diploma that actually gives you the permission to be an artist. You are already an artist, you just need training. Please study music, please train yourself, practice your instrument. But you don't only study music by going to school, because to study and to go, these are just two different verbs that have nothing to do with each other. I did go to the music school and I met a lot of people who were actually going to school as well. They were getting inside the building, but they weren't studying, they were failing, they were just getting high inside classrooms. They were going to school, but nowadays I don't know anything about them. So you can go to school and not learn anything, and you can learn a lot of things. Not just going to school, you can practice at home, you can practice in your living room. But just practice, study music. And a lot of people sometimes get jealous with me or even angry at me because I had the chance to go to music school and they didn't have the chance. But it's not about going to a certain place. It's about what you want and what you want to learn. And you can be just so independent and decide to learn it by yourself. With time, you will meet people and you will ask for help and you will be guided, of course, but if you really have the will to learn music, it will just happen and you will do it and you will find a way. Maybe you prepared your audition, maybe you were rejected during your audition, maybe even the jury told you some very bad things. Don't listen to them. Nowadays education is very, very bad, and teachers who call themselves teachers, these are just people that have had really, really bad lives. And I'm telling you this because I went through that. I had some teachers who were actually, they might even be jealous that you're younger, that you're prettier, that you play faster than them, and they will just throw shit. They will just be bad people at you. So if you got rejected from music school, or another huge point, if it is too expensive and you cannot afford it, I can assure you that there are many other ways for you, cheaper ways, easier ways for you to learn and to get the knowledge and the wisdom that you are looking for. It is just, you just have to look for your own path. Just remember, everyone's path is different. So maybe you don't have to be a student in that school. Maybe your path is way more cooler. So life is just telling you, dude, like, don't go that way because your way, it's way more cooler. You just have to find it. I did go to music school and I studied classical music, and I thought I wanted to be a classical pianist. I was a classical pianist for some years until I went to study music abroad. I went to a different country, and by being there I realized that my path was way more different than the path that I had chosen when I was 10 years old. And when I was 10 years old, I thought I wanted to be a pianist, and then classical music appeared in my life. Nowadays, it is metal music, and I don't want to keep playing the piano, I want to sing. So there was a point that I needed to actually give up university. I just dropped university, and if I'm honest, that has been the best decision that I have ever made in my life. And the third point, the first point was don't worry if you got rejected. The second point is don't worry if it is too expensive. You will get the money or you will get another way. And the third point, and I think it is the most important, is how old you are right now. When I prepared my audition to become a pianist, a piano student at school, I was 18 years old. And I was told that I was too old to be in the first grade. If I wanted to be there, I needed to skip 1 year. And so I needed to prepare a different audition and a different exam so I could actually skip 1 year and be there, and I did it. But I remember I was going to have an exam. I was already a student. I was going to have an exam concert, and I was just outside the classroom waiting for other students to leave the classroom so I could go in and play what I was going to play. And I was outside the classroom, and there were a lot of people outside just waiting. And one of them just started to ask each other, how old are you? How old are you? How old are you? And I saw him approaching me, and I was so embarrassed that I was 18 years old by that time that I just walked away. I ran away because I didn't want them to know that I was 18 years old. So, and of course with time it was getting worse because I was 19, I was 20, I was 21, and teachers were constantly mentioning your age. Like every day you were going to the classroom, it's like you're 20, right? You're 21, like, and you wouldn't get that attention than the teenagers if you were 14, 15, or even if you were a kid. Teachers were like so grateful with kids, but they would behave like very, very bad to the ones who were older. Right now I'm 29, and now that I just think about it, it's just very ridiculous because art never dies, and if you're an artist, you will be an artist your entire life. And also, art needs maturity and experiences from life. You might be a great pianist, a great guitar player, but if you haven't had experiences in your life, maybe if you haven't had your heart broken, if you haven't traveled alone, if you haven't tried things, then your art will be empty. Art, it's the expression of life, and you need to live, to express, and just to tell the world about your experiences. So actually, your age has nothing to do if you are an artist or not. Yeah, I really wanted to talk about this. If you're 30, 40, 50, 60, please go ahead and do it. There's people out there who are 80 and they start to work out and they look way better than you and me. So as long as we are living, we actually have an opportunity. So don't get discouraged if you got rejected. Don't get discouraged if you do not have the money. We have the internet, and there are a lot of tools out there on the internet. And just don't worry about your age. Actually, society kind of like manipulates us with how old you are. You are already 30, you are already 40, and you should be doing this, but you shouldn't be doing this. That's ridiculous. If your heart is telling you that you need to do it, just go ahead and do it. And I'm also creating this video because lately I saw a Mexican girl through Instagram, and she dives like 83 meters down the water, down the sea. And I was like so impressed. There's people actually risking their lives for their dreams. And in our case, we just need to sit down and sing or practice guitar or practice drums. Like, we are not in danger. There are people who are in danger while following their dreams. We're not. All we have to do is like practice, and that's it. So if you really want to do this, just go ahead and just get rid of these dumb ideas. Don't let yourself be called an ignorant because you're not going to school. Society believes that you have to go to school to learn things, otherwise you're an ignorant, but you can learn things everywhere and whenever you want. So just get rid of these ideas and follow your dreams and never give up.